So the link between the breath and the pelvic floor, they work as one. The breath through the diaphragm creates the breath through the pelvic floor. So every time we breathe in properly, deeply, we're creating that stretch into the pelvic floor, allowing it to bounce back. With the exhale, this keeps that elasticity, that blood flow, that constant triggering of tenacity within the pelvic floor. So what we find is if your posture is naturally to have hyperextension in the lumbars, there's this misdirection. So the breath then goes forwards and not directly down. The pelvic floor is now tilted behind you, so it's not getting that activation. There's a disconnect between the upper energy and the womb energy. They can't work together, they can't link, and there's a stagnancy that can build here. At the same time, the sexual energy is actually able to leak. It's no longer contained, it's now out of its center point, and it's not being held by the legs and the upper body and the base chakra and the higher chakras. So it's a wonderful training to really use the bottom of your glutes and the lower belly to gently find that center point, allowing those hips to rock forwards and backwards just with the lower belly, and if you need to with the glutes. It's great to be able to do it without, and just rocking them until you feel that sense of where that center point is, so you can properly plug in and see if you can hold that point while straightening your legs. It's much easier when the knees are bent. The same thing goes for if the natural posture is to have the pelvis tilted forwards. There's now a shutdown. Again, there's a misdirection of the breath, misdirection of the energy, and everything is locked forwards, sealed up, and not able to work with the full flow. So every time you come to do this work, or whether you're standing in a queue at the bank or wherever you have a moment to bring in that awareness, just playing with that range and finding that point where your breath can go directly down onto the pelvic floor, anchoring you into the earth energies, getting the continuation all the way down and all the way up, stretching down onto the pelvic floor, releasing up. So it's an interesting thing being able to contain the lower abs, contain the front of the womb. It always to me feels like a closing of this pelvic bowl. It's the lower abs create the front piece of the bowl, and they're containing that womb energy, allowing the diaphragm to really breathe all the way down, activating. So this is soft and this is gently active all the time, not locked. You don't want to, if you're locking too strongly at the bottom, you're going to lock into the solar plexus as well. Everything's shut down. This needs space. We've got to be able to get that energy really active and breathing, and then we can play with it at the bottom. So just for a moment, really being with that, closing your eyes and dropping into that womb breath, feeling how that sense of breathing all the way down, massaging the womb and the ovaries with your breath, massaging down into the yoni, really activates and brings a huge flood of energy to that area.